ベアトリーチ。
White Shadow.
先ほどから呼んでおる。聞こえなんだか？
そうであったか？すまぬ。ぼんやり考え事をしていた。許せ。
良い天気だな。なるほど。陽気に心を奪われるのもわかるというもの。紅茶はここで飲むか？
わらわは何者なのか？
今紅茶を持ってくる。しばし待て。
紅茶は良い。わらわの話に付き合え。
よかろう。
Kinzo had used the excuse of going to bring some black tea to try and interrupt the conversation for the time being. But his attempt had been very transparent. I sat in the garden chair and beckoned Kinzo to do the same. Kinzo sat down heavily, exaggerating his age. For a while, we sat, appreciating the silence.
わらわは何者なのか。この問いに今日まで答えてくれた者はおらぬ。
This past Beatrice is a lot different than the Beatrice that we're seeing now. This is definitely interesting. Is this a little bit more to the story of Beatrice before she, became the witch of Rokenjima? This is going to be very interesting because as it may seem right now, Beatrice doesn't remember who she was, so she has some memory loss. Was this caused by Kinzo? Or... Did Kinzo make her lose her memories?
なぜか皆目をそらし、はぐらかす。
And yes, I'm blaming Kinzo because even though it might have been... Okay, from what Rosa said last time, it may seem as though she was the one who killed the original Beatrice. But that doesn't prove that Kinzo's fully innocent just yet. Even if Rosa states she is the killer, I still feel like Kinzo has done multiple other things to the original Beatrice, which has led to her current form being a little bit more vengeful. Well, is she really vengeful? I can't tell if she's vengeful to the Ushiyamiya family or she's just messing with them. I want to say that she's vengeful, but also at the same time, she could be trying to figure out what's going on herself. Like, about why this happened to her. Because she made a deal with Kinzo, but from that, she might have lost a lot of her memories of her previous life as a human. And that beginning prologue scene. Okay, the beginning prologue scene, yes, that could have been Beatrice before she became a witch, or that could have been a false memory. Yes, I'm going from the angle up, that could have been a false memory. A slight psychological stance, but also I've noticed one thing about my psychological stances of Umineko. They're still based in magic. Like, I don't think in any of my theories I have denied that magic could be responsible somewhat for each and every theory I made. I don't think I have ever really denied magic. Unintentionally until now, I never denied the existence of magic being responsible to what's going on in this story. Like, psychological magic definitely could have helped Beatrice to lose her memories, the original Beatrice before, well, Rosa killed her. I'm not 100% sure if what Rosa is saying is actually the truth as well. Well, if you go from the psychological approach, there is one fault in my psychological approach. Everything can be denied with this approach. Everything can be denied with this approach, so I hope it's not solely psychological magic. Because if you play the game with psychological magic, anything can be denied unless it is in red. I'm gonna believe in the red because there's gotta be some, concept of truth within this story in order to solve this grand mystery, because Umineko, it's a grand mystery, like a major mystery. So there's gotta be at least a little bit of hints throughout. And unlike in Higurashi, for which had tips about, tips to what's going on, aka the tips in Higurashi are a little bit more like a, hey, here's a little bit of more of a, heads up for what might be what's going on. That's why they're a tip. A little bit of a, hint. While the tips for this game are written in red, rather than the tips of, the epitaph and the letters, the red is your tip. Though, of course, you gotta, take every single thing said in red, literally. Like, the way I'm looking at it is, take everything you see in red literally, but if it's something that's hazy, it's in fair game. Like, if a theory is in gray, and if it doesn't and also does follow with the red truth, I think that's fair game, because in technical wording, that said theory could still work, despite it not being specified in red. Like, yes, it might go a little bit against the red, but if it also supports the red at the same time, is it really, invalid theory at this point? Because it technically follows the red. Yeah, I'm putting too much trust into the red truth, so I really hope that everything said in red is the truth. If it's not, well, everything falls apart.
そなたとは長い仲だ。わらわはそなたを無二の友であり、そして父ですらあると思っておる。だから、どうか教えてほしい。
Or this could be the mistress's daughter. I didn't think of that. This could be the daughter of the mistress who also inherited some magic. Or the original Beatrice never had magic while her daughter did, and her daughter lost her memories. Okay, I should probably get off of theory mind right now, because I should probably just read what's going on rather than, constantly making theories after every one line. Yeah, I should not be making theories after every line, so I'm gonna shut up now.
そなたは知っているはずだ。わらわが何者であるか
を。なぜにそのようなことが気になるのか。そなたはベアトリーチェ、この屋敷の主ではないか。それ以上の何を知りたいというのか。
わからぬ。
なんだ。何が知りたいのか自分でもわからぬというのか。それは不可解な。若き日には出口なき思考の迷路にて遊びたくなることもある。そなたの悩みもそれであろう。
Kinzo laughed, as though it was a trivial matter. However, I couldn't help but feel that this behavior was nothing but another attempt to force me to stop my further questioning.
やはり、そなたもそれを語ってはくれぬのか。
語ることなど何もない。そなたはベアトリーチェだ。それで十分ではないか。
I am not trusting Kinzo.
いや、違う。わらわが知りたいのは名前ではない。わらわが何者なのかだ。わらわは誰で、何で、いつからここにいて、そしていつまでここで日々を過ごせばよいのか。
やはり紅茶を持ってこよう。 せっかくの陽気がもったいないとは思わぬか。
He is really avoiding the subject.
これは何の話だ。どうやらお前の昔話のようだが。
そのようだな。まさかここまで遡るとは。
自分は誰なのかとはまた。えらく高尚な悩みをお持ちのようじゃねえか。
You know, I was not expecting for them to comment on this. I thought this was just going to be a flashback scene, but they're actually commentating on this, so I'm actually kind of surprised.
無理もないわ。当時のわらわは自分が何者なのか、何のために生きているのかを理解できなかった。
ま、誰でも思春期になると、自分の生きる意味とは何ぞやみたいな哲学的な悩みに一度はとらわれるものさ。お前にもそんな微笑ましい時期があっただけという話だろ。
わらわは生まれた時からその屋敷におった。
I did skip her breathing, but that doesn't warrant a slap, I don't think. And also, this is a very interesting line. I had been in that mansion since the time I was born. My comment earlier about this Beatrice being the mistress's daughter makes a lot of things make a lot more sense. That makes a lot of things make a little bit of sense now if she is the daughter of the original mistress.
そして屋敷の中だけで生きた。
Wait, is this on Rokujima? Because if this is not on Rokujima, that would be bad. But I think this is on Rokujima because they were mentioning another mansion in the previous chapter. No. 2 chapters ago, the adults were talking about the possibility of a second mansion, so this gotta be the mansion. Or this is a mansion in a magical universe, so technically it's on Rokujima, but also not.
もちろん庭には出られたが、敷地はとても高い柵で囲まれており、それを出ることはできず、また出てはならないと厳しく言われておった。わらわはな、屋敷と庭は自由に歩けたが、その外へは自らの意志ではたった一歩出ることさえ叶わなかったのだ。
So she was forced prisoner in that mansion.
そりゃどういう意味だよ。物心ついた時からずっとカゴの鳥だったって言いたいのか？
そういうものだと思っていた。何しろ気づいた時からそういう生活だったからな。疑問にも思わなかった。
お前、一体何者なんだ？
それよ。それこそわらわもまた望んだものだ。
You might be also still hoping to know what that is. Yourself, Beatrice.
どうせ人間ではなくて魔女でしたって言いやがるんだろ？
いや違う。まだ違う。いや、かつてそうだったと言うべきか。わらわは金蔵によって作られた。人間によって作られた人間だ。
I was constructed by Kinzo? A human built by a human? What? Wait. Oh, wait! Is this Beatrice the first attempt at reviving his mistress? Rather than a daughter, it was his first attempt to making a new witch. We're getting to some weird, Frankenstein level of thought now. We're getting to Frankenstein level of thought now. He's making homunculuses. You know? There are some similarities between Kinzo and Dr. Frankenstein. I can't admit that. From what I read from the Frankenstein novel, I can definitely see a lot of similarities between Kinzo and Dr. Frankenstein. But instead of screaming, it's alive, Kinzo screams, Beatrice! Beatrice! Anyways.
いや、肉でできた檻とでも言うべきか。
なんだよそりゃ。妙な話を言い出しやがって。
Yeah, I agree with Battler.
どうせそなたは信じぬだろうがな。まずは聞け。わらわは1000年を経た偉大なる魔女であった。しかしある時、金蔵によって呼び出され、その秘術にて永遠の虜となるよう縛られたのだ。
そりゃ初耳だぜ。後ろ宮家で知られてる話では、お前はじい様に呼び出されて悪魔の契約みたいなのを結んで黄金を授けたってことになってるぜ。
うん、それは正しい。そしてわらわは黄金を授け、契約の終わる時まで姿を消すはずだった。しかしまあモテる女の辛いとこよな。金蔵はこともあろうか、わらわに恋をした。
じい様も金眼が進んでたんだろうよ。ついでに乱視だな。よりによってお前に惚れるとはよ。
まあわらわにとっては迷惑この上ない話よ。
So maybe my angle from the mistress daughter standpoint, it just got debunked.
しかし人間の力とは恐ろしいものでな。あれは恐ろしい力を発揮してわらわをこの地へ釘付けにしたのだ。わらわが首を縦に振らぬ限り解放せぬと言ってな。なんとも強引な男よ。
すげえじゃねえかよ。じい様がオカルトかぶれなのは誰もが知るところだが、大魔女ベアトリーチェ様を釘付けにするほどの力があったとはな。へっ、バカバカしい。そんなおかしな話信じると思うか。
やはり信じぬか。
Can you say your backstory in red?
俺が信じるのは、お前が森の中の秘密屋敷に隠居していたって事実だけだ。お前こそが六軒島の19人目なんだろう。
いかにも。そなたの想像通り、ここは六軒島の森深く。
So this is not in a magical dimension. This is actually on Rokunjima.
外界からは見つけることもかなわぬ隠し屋敷。その名もクワドリアン。
Nine Birds Retreat. Kuwadorian.
そういや、ゲストハウスの正しい名はトライアンだって聞いたな。
Visitors Retreat. Torian. Wait. Torian? Can you repeat that, Battler? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
そういや、ゲストハウスの正しい名はトライアンだって聞いた。
Torian. Okay.
なるほど。ネーミングセンスは近いな。そして、お前はそこに隠居していたじい様の愛人。そうだな。
Yeah, my angle from the mistress daughter standpoint kinda just fell through with this. I didn't say that in pink, did I? Oh fuck, how did I already forget what I said in pink? Did I say anything in pink? No, I don't think I said anything in pink, did I? How do I have the attention span of a bird?
愛人というのは正しくない。金蔵の片思いであったと言うべきだろう。先ほども話したであろう。あれが勝手にわらわに惚れた。そしてわらわに求愛したが、それをわらわは拒んだ。
So it was one-sided. It was one-sided. Okay, maybe Beatrice is actually doing this for revenge.
そしてわらわをこの隠し屋敷へ閉じ込めたのだ。いや、屋敷に閉じ込めたというのは正しくないか。この体に閉じ込めたというべきか。
最後が何を言ってるのかわかんねえぜ。
どうせそなたはバカにして聞かぬであろう。何しろ魔女も魔法も信じぬという。語れど聞く耳を持たぬというならば、それを口にするは愚の骨頂だ。
信じるかどうかは俺が判断するぜ。聞かなきゃ話も進まねえしな。話せよ。お前の昔話を。
Melody, instrumental version.
金蔵はわらわに求愛を拒まれたが、それ式でへこたれる男ではない。どうあってもわらわの首を縦に振らせたかった。わらわをこの屋敷へ閉じ込め、わらわを口説き落とそうと永遠の時間を費やしたのだ。
強引なやつだな。しつこい男は嫌われるだろ。
求愛に応えるかどうかは別にして、男をそこまで必死にさせるのは、まあ女としてそう不愉快ではない。しかしわらわは決して首を縦には振らなかった。なんとかその戒めから逃れようとしたが、あれの結界は強固で破れなかった。
それで
さまざまな抵抗を試みた結果、金蔵の結界から逃れるには肉の体を捨てるほかないという結論に至った。肉体というものは魔法を語る上でとても制約の多い器なのだ。
肉の体を捨てる？なんだよそれ。幽体離脱みたいなものか？
まあそんなものと考えればよい。しかしわらわは精霊ではない。魔女ではあっても、もともとは肉の体で生まれ落ちた人間だ。そのわらわにとって肉体を捨てるということは、死を意味するほどではないにしても、それに準ずる覚悟が必要だった。
Was the Beatrice from the beginning of the game the first Beatrice and now you're the second Beatrice with a different body of flesh? Then who was the girl at the beginning of the game? Was that Rosa? No, that was Beatrice. Beatrice herself said that was her. Unless, yeah, no, that was Beatrice meeting her mentor Beatrice, but they had the same name? Ah! This witch stuff, I'm trying to wrap my head around this witch stuff, because I am accepting a little bit of the existence of magic, while also at the same time, trying to find any cracks in them. But okay, as of what I understand right now, the beginning sequence was when Beatrice was younger. But wait, that was at the Kuwadorian. Maybe that was after Beatrice got her mind wiped by Kinzo? Well, okay, we gotta hear the rest of Beatrice's story before I continue on thinking that her mind was wiped. So, yeah, let's actually have Beatrice confirm or deny her memories being wiped by Kinzo.
それはつまり自殺することでしか解放されないと決意したって意味なのか。
自殺ではない。あくまでも肉の体を捨てるだけのことだ。もちろん魂だけになるのは心もとない。魂は肉の体を出れば太陽の強い風に絶えずさらされてしまう。それによって吹き散らされないように自らを維持するのはわらわとて容易なことではない。できることなら避けたい最後の手段だった。しかし金蔵の結界から逃れるにはそれしかなかったのだ。何しろわらわは自由人。金蔵の生が果てるまでカゴにて飼われるのはごめんというもの。
I couldn't understand the story Beato kept going on about throwing away her body of flesh, as anything more than suicide. Grandfather persistently courted her, and to escape from that, she chose her own death?
それで自殺したってのか。何を言ってやがる。当のお前はそこでのんびりガーデンチェアに腰掛けてるじゃねえか。
そうだ。それこそが金蔵によって与えられた新たな檻だったのだ。
檻？この屋敷のことか。
違う。そこのガーデンチェアにてくつろぐわらわの体のことだ。金蔵は魂となって抜け出そうとしたわらわをそれでもなお逃すつもりはなかったのだ。いやいや恐ろしいやつ。
You say as you make that face.
普通は片思いの女が死んでみせれば100年の恋も冷めるであろうに。だからこそあれも魔術師の端くれなのか。
さっぱりわからねえ魔女っ子トークで煙に巻くな。つまりなんだってんだ。
金蔵は魂となったわらわすらも逃さなかったということだ。人間の思いというやつは恐ろしい。これほどまでの魔力を発揮するとは。死者の魂をつなぎ止めるなど、それを専門に弓道する魔術師でもおいそれと至れぬ境地よ。わらわはそれを知るからこそ金蔵の恐るべき魔力にその時初めて驚愕した。
Despite being so powerful, he cannot see the spirits of witches, despite being so powerful.
そして金蔵はわらわの魂を捕まえ
Well, no, wait a
連れ
second.
戻したのだ。
Wait. That doesn't make sense. Does that make sense? Because he was able to catch her, but he wasn't able to see her? Or was that something that happened due to his older age? Or maybe he caught on and was able to at least find a gold butterfly that was Beatrice. Because Kinzo wasn't able to see her in the previous game, but in this game, he saw Beatrice in a spirit form, for which I don't think he could have saw the spirit form of Beatrice in the previous game. Maybe? I might be interpreting this wrong.
だが魂を捉えておく檻は鉄でも鉛でも作れない。 ただ一つを除いて。
なんだよ。魔法の檻だとでも言い出すのかよ。
違う。わらわやそなたのようなこの肉の体だ。肉と血でできた檻だけが魂をこの世につなぎ止める。
It was a person! He used a person, or he made a person.
金蔵はわらわの魂をわらわと瓜二つに作り上げた肉の檻に再び閉じ込めたのだ。
So he basically pulled a Frankenstein. He pulled a Frankenstein. He made a Franken Beatrice. Maybe. Yes, Beatrice might be explaining things, but let me say what I'm thinking right now before Beatrice denies or confirms what I'm saying. Okay, if he did make the body, there's two ways he could have done it. Two various ways that my mind could think of, for which probably won't be the answer, but I just want to toy around with these thoughts, okay? Just let me toy around with my thoughts. So it could be like a Franken Beatrice. He used a bunch of different body parts to make something similar to what the witch looks like. Like the witch, Beatrice, that he captured. He made a Franken Beatrice to trap the escaping soul because he knew that there would be a chance for Beatrice to attempt to escape from her original witch body out of the Kuwadorian. So he built a Franken Beatrice to trap her as soon as she does that. Or, I have a second theory as to how he built another Beatrice. It could be a Franken Beatrice that he built from various body parts, like Frankenstein built the monster. Or, it could be something a little bit more wild. And I'm also using a book reference because sometimes my book references help me think. Alright. So, yes, I'm also advertising books for free. Yeah, I'm freely advertising some books. So, this is my next theory. And this one's a little bit more out there, but with a book explanation, it might help people understand where I'm getting at with this second theory. I'm using various books as examples. I'll find more ways to show examples in the future if they come up. So, okay, my second example is... There was another human on the island, or a servant at the time, that he grabbed just to force Beatrice's soul into them. Like, she forced Beatrice's soul into them, and as soon as Beatrice's soul was into them, they hijacked the body and formed like formed of a combined personality of Beatrice and the person that Kinzo took to have Beatrice be put into their body. Their souls combined, leading to Beatrice to have memory loss, and also be confused as to what she is at this point, because she's no longer fully the witch of Beatrice, but that body is no longer belonging to the person it originally belonged to. So they combined the two. Now, you could say that he got someone that looked very similar to Beatrice the witch, like he found someone that looked very similar to her, hired them, or kidnapped him himself. Or it could be the original human mistress. But, if we go from the witch angle, if Beatrice was a witch this whole time, and not a human mistress, that person that he took, and forced Beatrice's witch soul into them, after they got hit with the witch, if they did not look like Beatrice at all, they began their transformation as soon as the souls combined into looking exactly like the witch, because if a witch takes over someone's body and combines souls with them in their cage of flesh, they began to look like Beatrice. Just like how, when someone gets a bit of Tomie in them, when someone has a body part of Tomie in them, or Tomie's hair, they become Tomie. Kinda like how... Yes, I'm using Tomie as an example of whenever someone gets something from Tomie in them or on them, they become Tomie. When anyone gets Beatrice's soul in them, or a witch's soul in them, they become the witch. Though, of course, this is a much more wild example because Tomie is a totally different entity than the Witch of Beatrice. Though, there are multiple Beatrices according from the prologue. I think because Beatrice did call the witch she met in the prologue Beatrice herself. Or that could be a false memory. There's a lot of thoughts going on in my head, and I can't wait for my thoughts to be fully formulated to be absolutely crushed by the answer arcs.
要約するとこういうことか。じい様がしつこく求愛するんで嫌になり自殺したが、うまく死にきれなかったってことだろう。まりくどい言い方しやがってからに。
Valor!
いいや違う。わらわはホムンクルスの種子に魂を閉じ込められ、
Franken Beatrice!
試験管の中より生まれ入れたのだ。
はあ？バカバカしい。そんなのあるわけねえだろ。
生命を生み出す奇跡すらも金蔵は成し遂げたのだ。わらわの魂を閉じ込める檻にするためだけにな。己の恋心だけでこれほどの魔力を見せるとは。
So she wasn't a mistress's child. She was forced into the body of a homunculus. Dang.
つくづく恐ろしいやつよ。
あー、もうさすがにバカバカしくなってきたぜ。好きなだけ言ってろってんだ。俺は何も信じねえぜ。勝手にやってやがれってんだ。
なんだその不愉快な態度は。
最初は何か重大なヒントが隠されているだろうと多少の興味を示したが、聞けば聞くほどおかしな話になっていく。魔女を否定するゲームのはずなのに、いつの間にか魔女話を鵜呑みにさせられていく気がするぜ。悪いがこれ以上耳を貸す気はねえな。
Dude!
勝手に好きなだけほざいてろよ。
This could be a use of deception, but also, if you're slowly getting into the thought that magic is involved with this makes sense, and also can partially prove slightly that Beatrice was not the original culprit. In a sense it can. I cannot fully explain how I think this from this, but her backstory slowly is making it seem more and more like she was not the original culprit in the first game. But I'll have to read more into this in order to, fully formulate my thoughts, but I do not believe that Beatrice is actually the culprit. I'm not going as far as to say that in pink yet, but this might be weird to say this because of what happened in the second game. I don't believe that Beatrice is actually the culprit.
耳クソでもほじってるからよ。
Yeah, I did not say that in pink though. Let me clarify, I'm not saying this in pink just yet. Ooh, yeah, Beatrice is very, upset by this, Valor. When I started showing a cold attitude, Beato acted unusually discouraged. Of course, her expression was still brazen, but I had the feeling that I was able to catch a glimpse of loneliness because I hadn't found the story of her past interesting. Is that really easy to understand? Is that really easy to understand expression of hers? In that really easy to understand expression of hers, for some reason, that slight reaction had her seem pitiful. So, even though I kept my couldn't care less attitude, I decided to humor her slightly. Damn it. Even though she's an irritating witch, I'm still weak against her because her chromosomes are XX.
ま、信じる気は毛頭ねえけどよ。続けろよ。お茶菓子代わりに聞いてやるぜ。
わらわの身の上話が茶化扱いとはな。そこまでこき下ろされてまでのこのこ語ると思うか？
After I made fun of her, Beato reacted a little sensitively. It looks like, even though making fun of people was her specialty, she was horrible at being made fun of by other people. She was horrible at being made fun of by other people. That's usually the case. Just then, my cup of black tea suddenly made a sound, surprising me.
お嬢様の魂は捕らえられ、新しい生命の檻に吹き込まれました。
Thunberg Lily.
それはつまり、お嬢様が再び人間として生を受けたということです。
Before I had realized it, the demon butler had appeared and taken my cup, and was adding more black tea to it.
ロノエ、もうその話はよい。こやつはバカバカしくて危険と言うでな。わらわもバカバカしくて話す気にもならぬ。
Or Beatrice.
新しいクッキーを今、焼かせているところでございます。それまで、お茶菓子代わりに、お嬢様の昔話がちょうどいいかと思いまして。
もうわらわの話は良いというのに。揃って不愉快な奴らだ。わらわは席を外すぞ。
Well, okay, hold on. Rodolphe might be just unpleasant in nature because he's a demon. Though, of course, that's a stereotype of demons, so I shouldn't stereotype demons to be unpleasant. But, let's be honest here, Rodolphe is pretty unpleasant himself. Just by the way he acts. Though, I don't know about the other demons. Maybe most demons are actually pleasant. But keep in mind, they are demons. But also, you should not, think of demons like that until you met one. Hey, of you 72, I think? Yeah, of you 72 demons out there, please come into contact with me because I would like to meet you. So please, 72 demons. Of all you 72 demons out there, if it's just one, I'm fine. I just want to meet one of you. One of you 72. Please come forward. If you're a demon, please stand up.
ロノエ、給仕を済ませたらとっとと下がるのだぞ。バトラと無駄話などするでないぞ。
かしこまりました。努力いたします。
Meaning he's gonna tell Battler. Beato's confusing female short temper took hold of her, and she turned her body into gold butterflies, scattered, and disappeared. After that, only Rodolphe and the scent of the black tea were left.
なんだか、俺が怒らせたみたいで気分が悪いぜ。
ご自覚があられるようですので、これ以上申し上げることはございませんよ。
ちょっと待てよ。とどめを刺したのはお前だろうが。
はて、何のことやら。お砂糖とミルクはいかがですかな。
Have to say, the aura that Rodolphe emits, just the aura he emits is just being more, you know, it just feels more cursed. Like, he is legitimately a little bit creepy by aura, but with the voice actor, he's becoming a little bit cursed. Because I know this fucking voice actor. This voice actor, I just know their voice. Like, their voice has been with me for such a long time. He's been Gintoki, Kion, Kizami Yuya, and now Renove.
ミルクだけでいいぜ。あと、お茶菓子も欲しいな。
Also, I need to remember their name. Of fucking course, I can't remember their name from the top of my head, which is terrible.
クッキーが焼けるにはまだ時間がかかりますよ。
チャカの代わりがあるって言ったぜ。
かしこまりました。ご清聴をいただけるのでしたら続きをお話しいたします。
Renove is not on Beatrice's side.
Homunculus がなんとかって言ったな。
Witch in Gold, Symbolo.
一応は知ってるぜ。あれだろ？錬金術だかで作り出せ人造人間のことだろ？
Stand correction. It's not exactly a Frankenstein Beatrice hybrid because Frankenstein, there's not that much alchemy in the making of Frankenstein's monster. Though, still, the closest thing I can think of right now to what this form of Beatrice is, the closest thing I can think of is a Franken Beatrice. Also, by the way, I keep on referring it to as a Franken Beatrice, even though technically I should be making connections between Kinzo and Frankenstein because Frankenstein is the name of the doctor, not the monster. But the monster never had a name, so for now I'm just gonna call it Frankenstein to make it simple. I'm gonna call the monster Frankenstein to make it simple. Though, of course, they never got a name, for which is kind of sad. The monster never had a name. Though, I'm still in the middle of reading Mary Shelley's novels, so they might have a name at some point. If they ever do name the monster, and I get to that point before I edit this video, no, I'm not gonna add the name of the monster. That's a spoiler. Read Frankenstein, everyone! Read Frankenstein! It's a really good book, though the paragraphs are too fucking long.
はい。お嬢様の魂はホムンクルスに閉じ込められ、再び赤子となって生を受け、この世によみがえったのです。しかし赤子でございますから、金蔵様が愛を語ろうともそれは無駄なことでございます。
Yikes.
まさかじいさまはその赤ん坊をこの隠し屋敷に同じ年に成長するまで閉じ込めたってのか。
はい、そのまさかでございます。しかし魂は同じといえど、人間の魂はその器に強く影響を受けます。お嬢様はかつての記憶をすべて失われ、ごく普通の人間の少女として成長されました。
So being forced into homunculus did erase her memories. Alright.
それが、そこのガーデンチェアに座ってるベアートだってのか。
はい、その通りでございます。まさに瓜二つに成長なされました。しかし魔女としての力は持ち合わせておりません。あくまでも人間としてのお嬢様なのです。
But what about that scene from the beginning of the game? Because that was at the Kuwadorian, I think, or maybe that was at some other mansion. Beato, who was sitting in the garden chair, who was sitting in the garden chair, looked up at the sky, asked that same question again. She asked who she was. The meaning of those words was finally starting to click. She couldn't understand why she was living here, all locked up. Grandfather had seized Beatrice's soul, shut it up in a body of flesh, and then shut that up in a hidden mansion. However, since she had lived here since the time she was born, she couldn't even understand who she was, or why she lived shut up in there. Wait. Who would take such a stupid story seriously? Why don't I change my interpretation? Essentially, couldn't it be something like this? Grandfather met Beatrice. He then fell in love with her and courted her, but she didn't nod her head in agreement. And so he got angry and shut her up inside this hidden mansion. Beatrice had tried to escape, but no matter what she did, she couldn't succeed. So she finally chose her own death. And then, maybe there was a girl that looked just like Beatrice. No, a baby. And grandfather raised this child with care. But maybe grandfather didn't view this child as his daughter. Shut my soul up once more into a cage of flesh. Those words probably meant that he didn't view this kid as her child, but as her reincarnation. Maybe that's what it meant. Wait, he didn't view this kid as her child? Okay, that could support the mistress, well, I can't even say mistress anymore because his victim's child, at this point she's not a mistress, she's a victim of Kinzo, in a sense. Kinzo, oh my god, you're even worse than I thought you were before, oh god. If you interpret it that way, even a story that weird might make a little sense. No. This might be some bullshit Beato cooked up to confuse me. As if I could accept any of this. In the first place, Kuwadorian, was it? There's no proof whatsoever that a hidden mansion actually existed. Couldn't this be something she just fabricated on the spot?
六軒島の森の中にはクワドリアンという隠し屋敷が実在します。
Okay, I knew that the stakes could say stuff in red. But they were already repeating information that Beatrice said, I think. So Renove, to be using red himself, I'm actually surprised by. A hidden mansion called Kuwadorian does exist in the forest of Rokenjima. I mean, yeah, the stakes did say stuff in red, but I didn't think they were saying anything new. But this is very new. So Renove can speak in red. And also, speaking of red, how in the hell could they adapt talking in red in the manga and anime? Okay, the manga can make sense. It can change the font, I guess, if it's a black and white manga. Or, they actually had some color pages for the Umineko manga. Though, color pages are a lot more expensive to make than, black and white pages. So I could definitely understand why some of the stuff in red would be printed in black and white instead of red because of, how expensive it is to print books in mass. So, they probably just changed the font to say stuff in red. But for the anime, how in the fuck would they say stuff in red?
それが今、話をしていた場所です。
Melody. Instrumental version.
赤
Renove, used the red to say that Kuwadorian actually existed. Did that mean the same thing as the red Beato used?
これでも悪魔の端くれでございますので、お嬢様には内緒にしてくださいね。
Beato, who knew I would try to trip her up, had grown extremely cautious when using red. To think that Renove could also use that red. Of course, it's the red of a crafty man. I don't know how far I can accept it. But anyway, I might be able to get some hint out of it.
このクワドリアンの庭でくつろいでるベアトとさっきのじい様との会話は真実なのか？
はい、真実です。かつて実際にこの場所でお二人はこのような会話をなされました。
助かるぜ。さらに赤で頼む。あいつホムンクルスから生まれたなんて言いやがったが、そんな非科学的な魔法的存在実在するのか？
その問いかけにはお答えできません。
Damn it!
理由はステイルメイトになるからでございます。
ステイルメイト？なんだそりゃ。
チェスの用語で千日手のパーペチュアルと同様にそれ以上のゲーム進行が不可能になる宣言です。これは千日手とは正反対で指し手がなくなるある種の手詰まりの状態を指します。パーペチュアルに同じでチェスではこれを引き分けにしております。ただしお嬢様とバトラ様のゲームでは引き分けがございません。ですのでステイルメイトになる質問には赤でお答えすることができないのです。
よくわからねえこと言って煙に巻いてるが、つまりホムンクルスなんて魔法的存在が実在するって赤で言えないからごまかしてるだけなんだろ？
仮に私が赤で魔女は実在すると言ったらバトラ様はどういたしますか？
それを信じるか信じないかで俺たちは大喧嘩してるんじゃねえかよ。それを言われちまったら身も蓋もないぜ。ゲームオーバーだ。
魔女は存在すると赤で申し上げたならバトラ様には反論の余地がありません。しかしバトラ様はその理由が示されない以上それを受け入れないでしょう。しかし赤で語られる以上反論の余地もなく証拠も示されない。この場合バトラ様は敗北を認められないにもかかわらず反論の手がなく手詰まりとなってしまいます。チェックメイトされていないにもかかわらず次なる指し手が存在しない。バトラ様が次の一手を打てない以上お嬢様に手番が回ってくることはなくゲームはそこで永遠に止まってしまう。その結果お嬢様があなたを屈服させることもできない。これが手詰まりの状態です。それを回避するためこのような形になるご質問には赤でお答えすることができないのです。
早い話が身も蓋もない質問は禁止だとそう言いたいわけだな。まあそりゃそうだよな。赤で魔女は実在するって言われちまったら 俺は花からお手上げだぜ。
ご理解いただけて助かります。他の形の質問でしたらご協力できるかと思いますよ。
奴がはぐらかした副賞要求には応えられるか。この島の人数だ。
お嬢様が保留されている副賞要求にももちろん答えられませんよ。お嬢様の家具でございますので、出過ぎた真似はできかねます。
Renove made an exaggerated gesture, trying to act like a loyal retainer. This guy's so shameless.
一瞬でも使えるやつと思ったのによ。
I mean, what he just said there was pretty useful, dude.
諦めて他の質問を探すか。そうだ、大事なことを確認するのを忘れてた。これはベアとの思い出話なんだろ。いつの話なんだ。まさか現在ってことはないだろ。
はい、ここは1967年の世界。
1967. Wait a second. For almost 20 years, Kinzo's perpetually looked that old. How old is Kinzo, actually? How old is Kinzo? Has he perpetually looked like that for 20 years?
19年前の世界でございます。
Okay, 19 years, but... He still looked like that in the past 19 years? Huh. Intriguing. And this is 1 year before Battler was born. Let's go through the story one more time. I wonder if it couldn't be something like this. Grandfather had a person with whom he fell in unrequited love, called Beatrice. And he confined her in this hidden mansion, and continually courted her. But she was stubborn, and didn't say yes. Eventually, she grew pessimistic about being unable to escape from here, and probably committed suicide. And then her soul was put in homunculus, and no, if I accept that, it's the same as accepting the witch. I can interpret that part like this. She probably left a daughter behind when she died. That talk about the soul being put in a new body probably meant that grandfather raised that child, leaving it to be the reincarnation of Beatrice. And if that was that one... sorry, I need to blow my nose real quick. I am kind of sick today. Ugh. Anyways, this has heavy implications. And you know what? Kinzo's already creepy alone from how he kept someone captive for unrequited love. That's already creepy. But this interpretation of Balor's makes it even worse. He kept someone against their will in his mansion, regardless of whether they're a witch or not. He kept someone against their will in the mansion, and from the interpretations of Balor, he forced them to have a kid. Oh god, Kinzo is horrible! Well, he's a lot more horrible than Rosa. That's one thing I can say now. Kinzo's already a lot more horrible than Rosa with all these revelations. He's 3 times more horrible than Rosa. In that case, Beato must have existed on this island for at least the last 19 years as the 19th person. And then...
混乱してきたぜ。いずれにせよ、憶測の域を出ない。確実に赤で言えることは、
Wait, is Battler about to say something in red?
1967年の六軒島の隠し屋敷に人間としてのベアトリーチェが存在した。
Battler said he could say this in red, but that's not red.
それだけだ。
Or no, he's following the red for what he's saying. That's, okay.
その通りでございます。1967年の六軒島の隠し屋敷に人間としてのベアトリーチェ様が存在した。
おう、サンキュー。助かるぜ。
おめでとうございます。これでバトラ様の19人目の駒は、その存在がはっきりしました。バトラ様が熱望された18人以外に罪をなすりつけられる19人目の人間。
Wait, okay, let me backtrack real quick. In 1967, in a hidden mansion on Okajima, Beatrice-sama existed as a human. Congratulations! With this, you have made clear the existence of the piece known as 19th person, the 19th human outside of the 18 who you can blame, just as you longed for. You know, okay, let me think about that for a second. I want to think about this for a second. That still doesn't prove anything. That still, I don't think, proves anything. That proves nothing because that was 19 years ago. Sorry for the burp. That was 19 years ago. And nothing has been stated on how many people are actually on the island. So, I'm not for sure if that Beatrice is actually the 19th person. I have doubts about that. I actually have legitimate doubts about that person being the 19th person. Yeah, I have legitimate doubts about that being the you know, mysterious 19th person. I have doubts about, the whole fact that we can use her as the outsider person who could be responsible. Because this was 19 years ago, and say it in red, in 1967, that does not equate to 1986. Okay, so I might have recorded a little bit without realizing that I just turned on the camera and not pressed the record button, so I'm gonna have to repeat like 4 lines real quick, so bear with me right now. Renove. Congratulations. With this, you have made clear the existence of the piece known as the 19th person. The 19th human outside the 18 who you can blame, just as you longed for. A sacrificial sheep that you can shift the blame of any crime onto. And you must be so glad that it is Milady. Renove laughed indiscreetly. Somehow, I didn't like his phrasing, so I didn't feel like laughing along with him. That's right. Auntie Rosa said it. Beatrice is dead. I killed her. What does that mean?
どういう意味なんだ？
それは私の口から語るよりも、実際に顛末をご覧になった方が早いでしょう。少々時計を進めましょう。
Renove pulled a stylish pocket watch from his pocket and made to wind the crown. As soon as he did, I saw gold butterflies gather behind Renove's back and take the form of a person. Oh? Oh? Are we getting another demon? Was it Beato? I quickly realized that it was someone else. Oh. Oh. Suspicious scent. It was her. That oldest sister of the 7 stakes, who loved tormenting me more than anything else. If I don't think myself lucky to see that sexy ass, I won't be able to play along with their torture game.
ロノウェ様、まだこちらにおられましたか。ベアトリーチェ様が至急お呼びです。
はて、至 宮のどのような御用やら。少々バトラ様とのおしゃべりが過ぎたようですね。それではバトラ様、私めはこれで失礼させていただきます。どうか引き続きお嬢様とのゲームをお楽しみください。
へいへい、せいぜい楽しむぜ。あんたはベアとより話が弾むからな。赤も気前よく使ってくれるしよ。ぜひまたおしゃべりに来いよな。
バトラ様、私めもこう見えてもお嬢様の家具、お嬢様が望まぬことはできませんよ。私が語った赤は本来ならお嬢様が自らの口で語るべきもの。へそを曲げてしまわれたお嬢様に代わって若き真実を披露したに過ぎません。
やっぱ俺へそを曲げてたよな。
Seeing me and Ronove incoherently hitting it off, that Seven States chick cocked her head slightly.
ロノウェ様、ベアトリーチェ様をお待たせしております。お急ぎを。
ええ、直ちに参ります。それではバトラス様、後ほど。ようやく仲良くなれてきましたね。やはり良い友人になれる気がします。
ベアとの陰口仲間ってことならな。
ロノウェ様。
はいはい。それでは失礼いたします。
Maybe it was because she really didn't like seeing him act friendly with me. Or maybe it was because she had really been told to hurry. The Seven Stakes babe bellowed sharply at Ronove, and he laughed foolishly and disappeared, as if running away.
煉獄の七杭が長女のこの私がこの程度の用事で呼びつけられるなんて。ベアトリーチェ様もこの程度なら他の暇そうな妹たちに言いつければいいのに。
何をカリカリしてんだよ姉ちゃん。腹減ってんならクッキーでも食えよ。最後の一枚をくれてやるぜ。
気が利くじゃない。なら一ついただこうかしら。
I lightly pushed the snack plate with the last remaining cookie on it over to her.
ありがとう。
Did you just attack us? Lucifer! Organ short, 600 million in C minor. Oh no, she hit the table. As though coming as a replacement for the period at the end of the sentence, a sharp sound pierced the table. The nails on 3 of her fingers had sharply extended and were stuck a hair's breadth into the gaps between my fingers on the hand I had used to push the plates. It happened in an instant, so for a while, I didn't even realize that her fingernails had grown. The tips of those sharp nails were like blades with a red manicure. The spaces between the bases of my fingers prickled. Those razor-like blades were sticking sharply into the back of my hand, and into the spaces between my fingers. By those 3 blades, my carelessly outstretched right arm was not even permitted to shake, and all I could do now was allow a single line of cold sweat to drip down. And all I could do now was allow a single line of cold sweat to drip down.
姉ちゃん、そろそろ爪を切った方がいいぜ。
ルシファーよ。それが誇り高き私の名。ベアトリーチェ様にお仕えする名誉ある家具、煉獄の七悔いが長女。他の面汚しな愚昧どもとはわけが違うの。それに見合った敬意を示さないと後悔することになるわよ。
どう後悔するんだか。俺には見当もつかねえぜ。
Uh-oh.
バカな子ね。そんなに遊んでほしいの？そんなに忘れられないの？私の悔いを思いっきり奥の奥までねじ込んでたっぷりえぐって楽しませてあげるわよ。
I mean, other than the steak part, what she's saying is probably really fun for Balor to hear, except for the fact that she, you know, kills him multiple times. Balor must really like what she's saying to him. Coming from how he seems very interested in all seven sisters of Purgatory. He seems very interested in all of them, though. This is Balor we're talking about. He is practically just a kid trying so hard to act like a Chad. That's how I see Balor. He's still a freaking kid trying so hard to act like, you know, a Chad. Though, you know what? Balor is just funny. Like, he's just a funny guy who is definitely not a Chad, but he's an honorary Chad. He's an honorary one, but he can never be one.
クソったれ。いつか押し倒して同じセリフ言ってやるぜ。
Yep. Yep. What I just said kind of makes sense.
あらそう？楽しみにしてるわね。
I would say that he meant by stabbing her, but with what? Okay, I'm done. No more jokes like that. I'm sorry. That was inappropriate. And Balor just got penetrated. And she liked it. She liked penetrating him. Rosa eventually regained her calm. Oh, we're back them! The men wanted to hurry her into talking faster, but Kyrie intervened. If something like she had just mentioned really had happened, it was an abominable past that she wouldn't want to remember. After taking several deep breaths with her hand over her chest, it seemed that she had more or less gathered the resolve to talk. Thunberg Lily.
多分中学生かよく覚えてない。とにかくそのくらいの頃だったと思うわ。
ってことはだいたい20年くらい前ってとこか。
Oh? 19 years ago.
あの頃の私はあまり成績が良くなくて、いつもお母様に怒られてばかりだった。私なりに努力していたつもりだったんだけど、お母様の期待には全然応えられなくて。
母上はローザにも随分厳しかったな。当時は同情していたよ。
陰口ばっかだったくせによく言うわね。
予算かエヴァ。それでローザさんはどこでベアトリーチェに会ったんや。
秀吉さん、今はせかしてはダメよ。いいのよ、ローザさん。楽に話して。ありがとう。あれはお母様に特に にひどく叱られた日よ。
Back to the past we go! Even though my tutor had promised to keep it a secret, apparently, they told Mother all about how I had complained. Mother scolded me horribly, saying that I was a disgrace to the Ushiyamiya family. Of course, I was doing the best I could. But I had none of cross-Nisan's dignity. I couldn't get excellent grades like Ava and Asan. And I had no leadership like Rudolph Nisan. I never stood out, didn't particularly excel at anything. And I almost wanted to ask myself why I had even been born into the Ushiyamiya family. I didn't know why I had been born. On that day, I had the experience of my mind going blank for the first time. For the first time since I was born, I realized that in addition to facing or surrendering to my problems, I had the third choice of running away. Even though I say run away, there was no way I could have left Rokenjima and gone somewhere else. But anyway, I wanted to run away from the mansion, and the way I was at the time. In a way, it was like running away from home, or maybe a half-hearted suicide.
いなくなりたかったの。あるいはいなくなることによって親を心配させたいという子供なりの反抗だったのかも。
So running away. Huh.
私は森のはるか奥に行けば後宮の家から逃れられる。あるいは迷子になって心配させることで仕返しができると子供ながらに思ったの。それで行ってはいけないと言われていた森に。ええ、浜辺へ出てから海に沿うように。特に理由があったわけじゃないけれど、島をぐるりと回ればその反対側には誰も知らない場所があって私だけの隠れ家になるような気がしたの。
浜辺からぐるっとってのは無理だな。途中で崖になっちまうだろう。あんなとこ通れるわけがねえぜ。
もちろんよ。だから通れる方へ通れる方へ、とにかく奥へ奥へ進んだわ。道なんかないひどい森だったけど、あの時の私にはそれが心地よかったの。それほどの険しい森を抜けたなら、その分後宮家から逃れられるって、そんな気持ちだったの。情けないわね。成績で叱られたならその分努力すればいいのに。
It was not that easy, this girl.
それを言ってはいかんね。その代わりローザにはデザイナーとしての才能があったじゃないか。
Literally, this could be taken as him covering for Rosa. But everyone knew that Rosa's company was not making any profits, and Klaus was being a fuck.
よせよ。今は嫌味を言ってる場合じゃねえぜ。そして偶然たどり着いちまったんだな。ベアトリーチェの隠し屋敷に。
Rosa nodded weakly.
どのくらい歩いたんや。地図で場所が示せるんか。ナツさん、この島の地図はあるかいな。
いえ、今ここにはありませんが。
無理よ。適当に歩いただけだもの。地図を見せられたってわからないわ。それにあれから20年も経ってる。多分森へ行っても二度とたどり着けないわ。
Several people let out dejected sighs. It was vividly clear that in their haste, they had thought that some hint related to the witch's epitaph, or maybe even the gold itself, might be resting there in that hidden mansion.
六軒島はこの屋敷の周りが整地されているだけに過ぎねえ。他は完全に未開で、前頭測量は相当の手間がかかるだろうな。
でも確かに存在すると分かっただけでも収穫よ。お金はかかるだろうけど、例えば航空写真の会社に調査を頼むとか、このお屋敷を建設した業者に当時のことを聞くとか、調べる方法はあるかもしれないわね。そうね。あるかないかもわからないものを探すよりはまだ方法があるはずよ。
早速調べる価値があるだろう。
その調査は兄弟合同でやるわよ。兄さん一人ではさせないわ。
It's not like you already have been doing that by yourself, Kloss. It wasn't certain that the gold was hidden in that secret mansion, but it seemed that the fireworks between Kloss and Ava had already begun.
兄貴たち、今はよせよ。ローザ、続きを話してくれ。
Psy chorus. Ooh! Ooh! Blindly, randomly, I kept running, on and on. Suddenly, it felt like I had come across something like an animal trail. I had no idea how far I'd walk, and I was very tired. So by then, I was just naturally taking the easiest path to walk on. Oh! And the gates are here! We're at the gates! As I did, suddenly, right before my eyes, a very, very tall fence appeared. It was a fence wonderfully adorned in the Gothic style. For an instant, I spun around, thinking that I might have returned to the original mansion. Of course, there were fences around the mansion to stop us from entering the forests. But this fence was decorated differently, and most of all, it was very tall. It probably reached a full 2 stories up. What the hell? Whoa! That's a little bit obsessive! It was covered with ivy, and created a mysterious, solemn atmosphere. At the time, I believed the legend of the Witch of the Forest, Beatrice. I had been told that she was frightening, but some of the servants told me that she would sometimes help you if you respected her. Since I had started to lose confidence in how my life was going, and she was literally running away, I believed that the only way I could be saved was by receiving her help. Running away! We're back to this dumb theory of mine! We're back here! We're back here! If you run away, Beatrice comes in more powerful because you're running away. You're believing in the supernatural to avoid reality. Rosa is literally running away here as a kid! But wait, this was when Beatrice was a homunculus. This was when Beatrice was a homunculus, so does that still apply? That might still apply still, with her witchly self still being a part of that homunculus. Despite losing her memories, she still acts the same. She still acts the same, and her powers work the same when there's someone who believes in her. So, yes, Beatrice still had her powers inside that homunculus, but they were toned down due to the human side of that homunculus, but they were secretly activated by Rosa legitimately running away from her issues as a middle schooler. Rosa, in a sense, both killed and maybe had revived Beatrice to her original state. Holy shit. So Kinzo entrapped her, and Rosa freed her. This is where this might be going. Kinzo may have entrapped her, but Rosa let her free. But we have to read the rest of her story. I mean, we have to see the rest of her story before we can continue on with that line of thought. You know? This song slightly does give me some Undertale vibes. I'm liking it. This does give me some Undertale vibes. So, that's what made me think it. I believe that this was the fence of the mansion of Beatrice, the Witch of the Forest. I thought that if I could meet with Beatrice, she would definitely save me. So, I thought I would try to go in. But that fence was very, very tall, and it didn't look like I could go over it. So I decided to walk around it. I thought that if I did, I would eventually reach a gate. But it wasn't that easy. The fence had a length to match its height, and no matter how far I went, I didn't reach a corner. It must have been enclosing a very massive area. Or maybe it just felt that way, because my child's legs made it difficult to walk in the forest. Anyway, because I couldn't find a gate for a while, I started to feel sad, as though the witch had rejected me. As I did, I eventually came upon a large tree, whose twisted root had bent the fence. I might get my clothes dirty, but if I crawled, it looked like I would be able to sneak in.
そこが隠し屋敷だったの？
あれが私たちの言う隠し屋敷なのかはわからない。でも少なくとも私たちの知る場所ではなかったわ。
It wasn't as though I came out into a garden as soon as I passed the fence. I had to continue through a lot more uncultivated forest after that. And then, the forest suddenly opened up. And what appeared there was an unbelievably fantastical scene. To think that Rokanjima, where I had believed no one other than us lived, had been hiding such a wonderful mansion. A beautiful flower garden spanned the front of the mansion. It was a flower garden of a completely different design from the rose garden we know so well, and was very lovely. Of course, the mansion was also wonderful. It was one or two sizes smaller than ours. But it was very elegant, and yet lovely mansion. Then, I saw her. I saw her sitting in a garden chair, positioned to give a view of the flower garden, wearing an elegant dress. It was that black dress embroidered in gold that we would later know from that portrait. I hadn't seen an elegant dress like that except in fairy tales and on the stage of musicals. That a person would be wearing it as their normal clothes, that in itself seemed quite fantastical. That magical scene was enough to make me lose my sense of reality. If someone had told me then that it was a dream, I might have nodded obediently and waited to wake up in my bed. Since, in my shock, I had forgotten to hide myself, she eventually noticed me. At first, her expression was quite listless. But when she noticed me, her eyes opened very wide. It was only natural. A gas that she didn't know had suddenly appeared. I automatically bowed my head, feeling that I should greet her and apologize for entering without permission. Hope.
そなたは誰か
Oh?
新しい庭師なのか
Those were the first words she said to me. That calmed me down a little bit, because I realized that she could be talked with. Because I had been turned into a frog just by meeting her eyes, like the terrifying witch in that fairy tale.
ごめんなさい。勝手にお庭に立ち入ってすみません。
そなたは誰か名乗るがよい。
後宮ローザと言います。
後宮。ほう。金蔵の一族の人間なのか。
はい。金蔵の娘です。こんにちは。
I was just a little surprised. After all, Father was a great man feared by everyone. And she had referred to him without using honorifics? So she quickly became frightening. After all, if she could refer to my fearsome father that way, she must be a witch with incredible power. After staring at me curiously, she beckoned me to come over to her. And I obeyed, although filled with belated trepidation. After all, I thought I really might be turned into a frog. And the closer and closer I got, the stronger that fear became. After all, I said it several times already, but that woman and her dress, and the flower garden in the mansion, that entire harmony was so fantastical and beautiful that it seemed separate from reality. It surely would have surprised me, even if she was actually a witch. And I was truly lucky. She didn't turn me into a frog. As I awkwardly stood there stock still, she motioned to an open chair and urged me to sit down.
座るがよい。
Aww. That's a really good image of Beatrice.
初めて訪れた者を庭へ招き、語らうのがわらわの唯一の楽しみよ。他に何の楽しみもないがな。
As she said that, she showed me an unhappy smile for just an instant. Because I was full of a strange mix of tension and excitement, I really asked her a question suddenly.
森の魔女ベアトリーチェですか？
いかにも。わらわがベアトリーチェである。
やはりな。 ベアトリーチェは実在したんだ。
その姿はまさに肖像画の。
ええ、まさにあの肖像画の通りよ。
お父さんの想像の中の魔女じゃなかったんやな。
それであなたは彼女と何を話したの？
彼女はお茶を入れながら私のことをいろいろと聞いたわ。まず森を抜けてやってきたことを驚かれた。彼女は柵の外には危険な狼がたくさんいると信じていたみたいだった。だから私が森を抜けてたどり着いたと言ったらとても驚いていたわ。どうやって狼から逃れたのか、ビスケットを渡して許してもらったのか、それとも魔法の街灯をかぶってなんて感じのことを言ってたっけ。
How old was Beatrice at this time? How old was Beatrice? Is she an adult Beatrice, or is she a teenager Beatrice, or is she a child Beatrice? Did Rosa specify how old she looked? Okay, she must have been around... Okay, at the very youngest age, I think she was around Rosa's age from what I'm trying to interpret of this scene. So she's in her, adult form, so she might be an adult as well. Oh my god, this is hard.
そりゃ確かに魔女っぽいわな。面白いお人や。
あなた黙って。ずいぶん昔だけど、お父様は森には狼が住んでいるから近寄ってはならないって私たちを脅さなかった？
ああ、そんなこともあったな。バカらしいね。日本の狼はとっくの昔に絶滅しているというのに、まさに子供騙しだな。
記憶にねえな。そんな話親父に聞かされたっけ。森には魔女だろ。狼なんて話聞いたことないぜ。
あんたがまだ小学校だった頃よ。覚えてない？そしたらあんたむしろ狼になって言い出すもんだから。
That sounds like a smart Alex response I would make. That sounds like a response I would make as a kid.
お父様はすぐに狼の話を引っ込めて魔女の話に切り替えたのよ。もうその嘘っぽいことと言ったら
当時のルドルフには狼よりも魔女の話の方がてきめんだったね。よく覚えているよ。私の背中にしがみついた夜があったことを覚えているかね。
The worst person to hear the stories.
ルドルフさんにもそんな可愛らしい時代があったのね。
うるせえな。子供の頃の話だぜ。
まあとにかくベアトリーチェを閉じ込めていたのがお父さんなら同じ狼の話をするのは道理ね。彼にとって六軒島の広大な森は後宮家と愛人の屋敷という相入れない二つの異世界を分断する越えてはならない壁だったのだから。
柵の高さを考えるとどうやら親父殿は庭ごと丸々を座敷牢にしたようだな。
Because it was one, basically.
さながら二つの世界を分ける国境も同然だったのだろう。
狼はともかく野犬の類でもいたのではありませんか。そのための策だったかもしれません。 六軒島に狼も野犬もいないわ。その策は兄さんやキリエさんの言うようにベアトリーチェと私たちの間の国境だったんでしょうね。
I mean, that was a good thing to get cleared up, so yeah, that's actually really good. So there's no... Is there any wild animals on Rokujima? Is there any wild animals?
しかし狼の話を素直に信じるなんてなんちゅうか純朴やな。わしの想像していた魔女とは随分違う感じやで。
そうね。それは私も感じたわ。とても尊大で、確かに魔女のイメージ通りの人だったんだけど、どこかとても子供っぽくて、なんていうのか素直すぎるというか、世間知らずな印象を受けたわ。
ああ。
例えるなら本当におとぎの国の人みたいというか、本当に不思議な人だったわ。
Wow. Kinzo truly made a Western fairy tale for himself, basically. But the way he did it was very messed up. What the... Oh my god.
それからどうしたんだ。親父の話とかは出たのか。
ええ、何日かに一度約束されている日もあれば突然の日もあったそうだけど、ふらりとお父様が訪れては一緒にお茶を飲んだり散歩したりしたんですって。私が訪れたその日はたまたま彼女一人だったと言っていたわ。
I mean, that worked out really well for you.
なるほどな。まさに愛人といったところだ。やれやれ。いくつ年下か知らんが、親父殿もやるね。
What?
いかがわしい意味での交流はなかったと確信しています。バカね。男と女の多さに色気がないはずないじゃない。それでどうしたの？それから何の話を？
私の自己紹介をしたので逆に彼女のことを質問したわ。そうしたら急に雰囲気が落ち込んでしまったの。なんていうのか、とても気だるそうな、寂しそうな。私が初めて彼女の顔を見た時に浮かべていたのと同じ表情だった。
まあ秘密の愛人だからな。好き勝手に歩かれてお袋に見つかっちまったらことだ。きっと軟禁に近い状態だったろう。綺麗なドレスに綺麗な屋敷や庭があってもさぞや窮屈な思いをしてたんだろうぜ。
Holy shit, hold on. How fucking big is Rudolph's hand? I'm sorry, but let me just ask that question. His hand is larger than the size of... What the hell? Wait, his hand... That doesn't make sense. Hold on. How can a hand be that big? What the... Maybe a hand could be that big, but... What? That's huge! That hand's fucking huge!
そりゃ苦労もあったろうさ。それで
彼女はきっと何か悩みがあった。それを私に話したところで何の解決にもならないというような雰囲気が読み取れて、私も とても悲しかったのを覚えてる。私と一緒にいることさえ忘れてしまったかのようで、遠くをぼんやり見ながらずっと無言でいたわ。私はきっと失言してしまったに違いないと思ったんだけど、謝罪の言葉すらも口にしていいような雰囲気じゃなくて。だから私も彼女が私と一緒にいることを思い出してくれるまでずっと黙ってた。
When she did, she muttered unexpectedly. Far.
柵の向こうには本当に狼などおらぬのか。
That was not the direction I thought this song was gonna go.
はい。狼なんて動物園でも見たことないです。
動物園とは何か。
いろんな動物が飼われているところです。象とかキリンとかパンダとか珍しい動物がいっぱいいますよ。
動物園に狼はいないのか。なら怖くないかもしれんな。
狼がいたとしても動物はみんな檻に入ってますから安全です。だから安心して見学できるんですよ。
I'm smiling like a complete idiot. My Beatrice's innocent. I know I shouldn't, but I still am for some reason. The Witch of the Forest, of all people, was for some reason scared of and didn't like wolves. I remembered it looked pretty comical.
それはわらわとどう違うのか。
She didn't even know about zoos. I explained how fun zoos could be, but it was very difficult to get a person like her, who had never been to one, to understand. Quite the opposite. As I explained it to her, her expression grew increasingly dismal. She couldn't see the difference. It seemed that, although this mansion, surrounded by a high fence, appeared at a glance to afford her a completely provided for life of comfort, she couldn't see how she was different from the animals shut up in cages.
わらわは何者なのか。皆はわらわのことをベアトリーチェと呼ぶ。それは確かにそなたの言うように偉大な魔女の名前らしい。しかしそれはわらわではないのだ。わらわには魔法など何も使えぬ。わらわはその魔女の魂を好みに封じられているだけなのだ。
I'm gonna say this now. Your memory is flawless, Rosa, by the way. Your memory is flawless. Because you can remember a lot of things. There was definitely something mysterious about her. It wasn't just that she was somehow at odds with the world, but it seemed that she truly believed that a thing called magic actually exists. I think she talked about various weird things, but I don't remember the details. All I thought was, this might be a pitiful person. She was unable to leave this mansion of her own will, a prisoner without even realizing it. And she didn't know anything about the outside world, didn't even understand who she was. She probably vaguely understood herself that she was pitiful. But since she didn't know anything, it seemed that she couldn't realize that this was unhappiness. Nei-san, long ago, when I told you that I felt sorry for a bird in a cage, I remember you said this to me. A bird that only knows the inside of a cage doesn't long for the outside. But she wasn't a bird. She was, ultimately, a human. Even if she had never been outside the cage, she understood that it wasn't the whole world. So, I invited her.
柵の外へ出てみますか？
本当に狼はいないのか？
いないですよ。絶対平気ですから。
出たいぞ。だが、いつも門は閉まっている。
私が入ってきたところがあります。くぐり抜けられる隙間があるんです。
そこを抜ければ外の世界があるのか？
はい。
狼は本当にいない？
I wonder if the Beatrice now still dislikes wolves.
はい、来ませんよ。
I had only planned to invite her for a short walk. But she kept looking over her shoulder at the mansion, as though she was seriously deliberating over something. When I learned what she was preparing herself for... Then I learned what she was preparing herself for.
マラワはもうここは嫌だ。外へ出たい。そしてわらわが何者でこの世界はどうなっていて。
For some reason I feel like this is leading to something. This is definitely leading to something.
わらわは何のために生まれてきたのかを。
I know the direct... Sorry, Beatrice. I know the direction this is going, actually. Oh my god! Oh my god! I know the direction where this is going! I know the fucking direction where this is going! They're gonna walk outside, and Beatrice is just gonna fucking see something and then accidentally get killed by something. Wait, okay, Rudolph did mention a cliff earlier. Oh no! I didn't know what her life had been like until then. It was probably something that she couldn't express easily. If it was harsh, she just had to say that she wanted to escape. If it was sweet, she just had to say that she would stay. To liken it to something, perhaps it was similar to how a hot fireplace on a winter day makes the air get thicker and thicker, giving you a headache? Even though you know that you shouldn't keep things the way they are, you still need the courage to open the window and be tormented by the cold wind. She was starting to realize that she couldn't stay there forever. She was starting to realize that she had to go outside sometime. But since she didn't know about the outside world, to take that first step outside must have required an unimaginable amount of courage. And she had taken that into consideration and resolved herself. She had put that resolution to go outside into words for what was surely the first time in her entire life. I hesitated slightly. It had been decided that she would live here by father. It was as if she were father's beloved bird in a cage. If I just let her escape, wouldn't I be harshly scolded by father?
見たい。何を？
動物園が見たいのだ。
No, don't fucking tear up. I was a little surprised when she finally showed me a very soft smile. Stop! Oh god, I'm actually tearing up. Oh my fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm actually tearing up. That might have been an inner peace, coming from her newborn readiness to venture out from her cage. A soft smile, which I wouldn't have imagined could have come. A soft smile, which I couldn't have imagined could have come out of that dark face.
そなたと話すと知らないことばかり出てくる。わらわは学校なるものもわからぬし、動物園も知らぬ、映画館も知らぬ、遊園地も知らぬ。そしてそれを知りたいと心の底から思う。そなたはわらわをそこへ連れて行ってくれるのか。
I was nervous about how I would do it and keep it a secret from Father, but her face looked so happy, so I went along with her and nodded. But it seemed that the meaning behind my vague expression was not communicated to her. It seemed that she believed that I would really take her to all those places if we left. She was pure and genuine. She had probably never been tricked by anyone. No. Maybe it should be said that she had been taught how to doubt. Her face was somewhat radiant, and yet pathetic. I wanted to somehow grant her modest wish.
わらわはもうベアトリーチェは嫌だ。わらわが何者なのか知りたい。ベアトリーチェではない新しい人間を始めたい。だからここから連れ出してほしい。もう紅茶もいらぬ、ドレスもいらぬ、金蔵とも二度と会わぬ。ここよりわらわを連れ出してくれ、ローザ。
However, that responsibility was one that a child such as me couldn't possibly bear fully. But her serious gaze and her brilliant smile, almost as though an evil spirit had lifted from her, made me feel a little courage start to rise up inside myself. This was definitely something that would get me in a lot of trouble. But it was definitely the right thing to do. I don't know how it will turn out, but I'll take her out. Of course, I won't be able to ask help from Father, and not Mother either. Should I talk to Oni-sama? Or One-sama? Sama? Oh yeah, she is it. But Sama? Okay, well, I can get into a slight understanding why she referred to them as Sama and not San at that age, but that's just a little weird. No, what about that reliable Gichi-san, or... That's right. What about Kumasawa-san, to whom I can always talk when I'm in trouble? I'm sure they'll be able to do something. Anyway, for now, I'll take her out of here. Because this is no longer a place where she wishes to be. And so, I took her to the crack in the fence and led her outside. She was all nervous, checking to make sure there were no wolves around. But after that fear disappeared, she seemed somehow to be having fun, even just walking around this dense forest. Every time she found something, she would ask me about it. And there were all really minor things. What's this? What's that flower? What's that leaf? And that sound? And that smell? It was really like the inside of that fence had been her entire world. So, to her, who had stepped out of the world, this was, you know, it's strange. In the beginning, when I first saw her, I thought she was the absolute incarnation of a witch relaxing by a witch's mansion. But now it's different. Or actually, the complete opposite. She had gone out of a world she had believed to be finite, and was full of joy at realizing for the first time that the world was endless. So everything she saw was new. It was almost as though she was the one who had been thrown into a fairy tale. If she was Alice, then I felt almost like a rabbit holding a watch. To her, it was probably a really fun walk, filled to the brim with excitement. But as for me, the truth was, I was completely bewildered. After all, I had walked randomly to get there, so there was no way I could have known the way back to the mansion. There were no lights in the forest, and I hadn't brought a flashlight. I realized that it would be terrible if it got dark while we were still like this, and grew impatient. She was too innocent. And apparently, she couldn't understand at all how frightening it would be to face the night inside the forest. But I was the one who had brought her outside. Somehow, I had to take responsibility and resolve the situation. So I thought that for now, we should just go out to the sea. Oh God! If we fall that... Oh no! It's actually leading up to the cliff! If we then follow the coast around, eventually we should definitely be able to make it back to the mansion. However, that was much more of a problem than I had imagined. After all, I didn't have a map or a compass. There was no way I could walk in a straight line through an uncultivated forest, and I had immediately lost my sense of direction. I already had no clue which trail I had come by, and was completely lost. At this rate, night would definitely fall before I even knew where I was walking. But I didn't have the luxury to complain, because that woman falling behind me was so innocent and having so much fun. Therefore, for the sake of her smile if nothing else, I absolutely had to guide her out of this forest. Gritting my teeth so that I didn't show her a troubled face, I pushed my way onward through the pathless woods. Whoa! Oh, wow, can we see that view? Oh my God, that's an awesome view! Oh my God, I like that view! Oh man, I really like that view. And, although we had various troubles, we were lucky enough to make it to the sea. At that time, I still didn't even have a clue where I was on the island. But for the time being, I was just a little reassured, realizing that if I just went around this way, I would surely be able to return to the mansion. Of course, although I said that we reached the sea, we were on the top of a rocky cliff. The beach was far below us. I was tired from walking around the forest for so long. So I thought that even though it was a rocky beach, an open area would probably be much easier to walk in. So I planned to somehow go down the rocky cliff. It did look pretty dangerous, and I wonder if there was some other way. However, Beatrice agreed with my plan without any doubts. Even though she was probably older than me, she obeyed me truly obediently, almost as though she were some kind of chick who believed I was a mother bird. I searched to see if there wasn't some place where I could go down the cliff. Then I found a place where the cliff had crumbled into a slope. It looked a little dangerous, but if I went down on both hands and both legs, like I was crawling, I thought it would probably be okay.
ここを降りましょう。気をつけないと危ないけど、とにかく海岸に降りて、あとは沿って歩けば、もう迷わずに済むと思うの。
うん。ローザがそうするのならそうしようぞ。わらわは迷うとやらも楽しいぞ。とても愉快だ。
She really had no sense of danger. There was probably no mistake that she lived a life without discomfort. Even though she knew it would get dark when night fell, she couldn't imagine how dangerous the inside of a forest could be without a light. Furthermore, it seemed that she couldn't grasp at all how dangerous it might be if she fell from the cliff. I warned her once more to be careful. Yeah, this is not gonna end good. Oh god, this is not gonna end good. I cautiously examined the place where we could go down. It looked pretty high up. I think it might have been about 10 meters down. If you looked at it from the bottom up, it would probably have looked shorter than the roof of the mansion. But looking from the top, it felt almost like staring down from the Tokyo Tower's observation room. But Beatrice still appeared to be completely without fear. It felt as though she had never been taught that high places were dangerous. No, maybe she truly believed that she was a witch, and that she could fly, so there wasn't anything dangerous.
気をつけてくださいね。結構高いから。
うん。気をつけるぞ。下へ降りたら海があるな。そこに水族館があるのか。
いえ、この島には水族館はないですよ。でも海にはたくさんの魚がいると思います。
そうか。魚はいるのか。そなたが話してくれたクジラとかイルカとかペンギンとかはいるのか。
いえ、そういうのは水族館に行かないといないです。水族館は島を出ないとないですよ。
そうなのか。だが楽しみだ。クジラとはどんな魚なのか。
すっごく大きな魚で、あれ、哺乳類かな。
Hey Siri, what are whales?
Whales are a widely distributed and diverse group of fully aquatic placental marine mammals. Do you want me to keep reading?
Yes.
They are an informal grouping within the infraorder Cetacea, usually excluding dolphins and porpoises. Whales, dolphins, and porpoises belong to the order Cetartiodactyla, which consists of even-toed ungulates. Their closest living relatives are the hippopotamuses, having diverged about 40 million years ago.
So whales are technically mammals.
それで潮を吹いたりします。
ほう。ならばイルカは？
頭のいい魚で、あれ、これも哺乳類だっけ？
Hey Siri, What are dolphins?
Dolphin is a common name of aquatic mammals within the infraorder Cetacea. The term dolphin usually refers to the extant families Delphinidae, Platanistidinidae, and Pontoporidae, and the extinct Lepodidae. Do you want me to keep reading?
Yes.
There are 40 extant species named as dolphins. Dolphins range in size from the 1.7 meter long and 50 kilogram Mao's dolphin to the 9.5 meters and 10-ton killer whale. Several species exhibit sexual dimorphism, in that the males are larger than females.
And dolphins are mammals.
とても頭が良くて芸とかを覚えられるんですよ。
Did I just get an award for clicking 3,000 times in this game? Wait, what? Did they just give me a... No, okay, sorry, I'm gonna save right here. I'm gonna save right here just to see this real quick. I'm gonna go back to the game, but no, did they actually do this? Okay, sorry for cutting the scene short, but what the hell? Are you serious? I got an award for that? 50 hours! I just got another award for 50 hours in this game. Okay, bronze trophy, okay. Tea party, okay, hold on. I need to see, okay. Well, we get a trophy, oh, okay. 300,000 clicked. Silver trophy. You can't possibly have clicked that many times. Advance the messages 30,000 times. I wouldn't put it past Kinzo said. No, don't call me Kinzo! Okay, we also got a Rosa Musou trophy. Have her show you her golden dream. Oh god, Also, I got a silver trophy for a certain accumulation of power. Play for over 50 hours. But it is a far cry from 100,000, 57,000... No. 157,680 hours. Fuck numbers in English! Anyways, let's get back to the game. I'm sorry, I was just surprised they gave me an award for just clicking 30,000 times. What the hell, man? What the hell?
頭のいい魚で、あれ、これも哺乳類だっけ？とても頭が良くて芸とかを覚えられるんですよ。
ほほう。ならばペンギンはどうなのか。
あれ、これは鳥類だっけ？
Hey Siri, what are penguins?
Penguins are a group of aquatic flightless birds. They live almost exclusively in the southern hemisphere, with only one species, the Galapagos penguin, found north of the equator. Do you want me to keep reading?
Yes.
Highly adapted for life in the water, penguins have countershaded dark and white plumage and flippers for swimming. Most penguins feed on krill, fish, squid, and other forms of sea life which they catch while swimming underwater. They spend roughly half of their lives on land, and the other half in the sea.
So penguins are not mammals, they're just flightless birds. And I forgot about the Galapagos penguin. I forgot that penguin existed, by the way. Okay, I am a fan of March the Penguins. But that was based off the Emperor Penguin, not the Galapagos penguin. Hey, if any of you have penguin documentaries to recommend me, please do so. I want to learn about that penguin. And if you have anything about whales or dolphins, also send them to me as well. I need something to listen to while editing videos sometimes.
なんだ。水族館なのにさっきから魚が出てこんぞ。
まあその魚だけでなくいろいろな海の生き物がいっぱいいるんですよ。
ほほう。それはとても楽しみだ。お
No, it's happening! No, it's happening! No. She made some might have described it as a funny, rush and short voice. No, probably was a scream, I think. She suddenly made a sound like that. Her body separated from the cliff and gently fell down. I immediately thought to say to her, "How many times did I warn you to be careful?" It was the thought of a child. It was how a child immediately gets mad when something happens, trying to show that they are not at fault. Of course, I said it too. Are you alright? How many times did I warn you?
それで崖から落ちてどうなったんだ。
彼女はどうしたんだローザ。
Rosa fell silent. Her gaze fell to her feet, as though she was seeing through the floor to some disgusting memory.
死んだ。
Ava's brutal words were the ones that Rosa had most wanted to avoid. And when she was hit with them, she screamed in resignation. The camel dance!
岩浜だったもの。尖った危険な岩がたくさん抜き出しになっていた。目を見開いたまま、すごい血が溢れ出して、たちまち真っ赤な絨毯を広げていった。声をかけたわ、揺さぶったわ。でも彼女は返事はおろか、瞬きすらも。いいえ、まぶたを閉じることさえしてくれなかった。私が悪いのよ。彼女はドレス姿だったのよ。あんな動きにくい格好なのを知っていたのに、私が壁を降りようなんて言ってしまったから。彼女はすごい素直だったから、私の言うことに何の疑いもせずに従って。
Like, I can't say I don't feel bad for Rosa. I actually feel really bad for Rosa regarding this. God.
いつまで死んでいるつもりか。
Oh God, I forgot that one was killed by Lucifer.
いい加減に目を覚ませ。まったく。わらわの預かり知れぬところで勝手に肉塊に姿を変えようって。
おめえのとこの太もも姉ちゃんとイチャついてただけだぜ。それよりこれはどういうことだ。
見たままよ。わらわは足を踏み外して転落し死んだ。
なんだと？19人目として登場しておきながら死んだだと？ふざけるな、そんなわけはない。ローザおばさんは子供だったし焦ってた。医者がいたわけでもない。多分死んだと誤解しただけで、お前は多分仮死状態か何かで生きていたんだ。そうだろ。
It can't be. She's obviously alive. Otherwise, she wouldn't be here in front of me, right? The kid-age Auntie Rosa was shaking Beatrice's body, crying. I, too, stared into that face, but her eyes were still open, and it really was a corpse. I wanted to brush it off with something vague, like a state of apparent death. But from my angle, there was nothing apparent about it. She didn't look anything but dead. Beatrice had fallen upside down from a cliff of that height. and her head had smashed against the pointed tip of those sharp rocks. You would die, wouldn't you, from that height, on those rocks? But I can't accept that. No matter how dead she looks, she has to be alive. And she became this damn irritating witch. That way, all the inconsistencies fit. She'd been confined by grandfather in a hidden mansion the whole time. And then to avenge herself, she planned out her revenge. And would go on to commit a number of atrocious murders. Auntie Rosa probably just mistakenly thought she was dead. But she was really alive. And as soon as Auntie Rosa left, she miraculously started breathing again. And then she somehow lived until today, and would open the curtain on the scene of her revenge. Otherwise, the facts don't fit together!
そう簡単には騙されねえぞ。赤で復唱できるか？確かに死んだと。どうせ生きてるんだろ？見え見えだぜ。
それのどこが生きているように見えるというのか。間違いなく死んでいる。
Awesome timing for the music, by the way. That was good timing. My theory that the 19th person was grandfather's mistress, who was a human Beatrice, broke down. I thought I had managed to suig from a siege. Wait, how do you siege? No. What? What? I don't even. What is that word? I don't even know what that word means. It's a verb in music and film, move without interruption from one piece of music or scene to another. Noun, an uninterrupted transition from one piece of music or film to another. Oh god. Segue. Oh god. Okay, I know what that means now. It's just... I'm a fucking communications major. I'm fucking going for a communications major. What the fuck? What the fuck, me? I thought I had managed to segue from a defensive position into a counterattack, but...
なら、お前は何者だってんだ。お前はたった今死んだんだろうが。まさか魔法で蘇ったとか言い出すんじゃねえだろうな。
Yes!
すでに説明したと思うがな。そこに倒れているわらわは確かに魂はわらわだが、その体はわらわをうつしおへつなぎ止めておく肉の檻に過ぎなかったと。そしてその肉の檻がこうして壊れた。それがどういうことかわかるか？
Rosa freed her.
もうさっぱりだぜ。好きなだけ魔女っ子トークに興じろよ。チャカの代わりに聞いてやら。なんだ、空っぽか。おい、紅茶のおかわりを頼むぜ。
ロノエ、客人が紅茶をお望みだ。
When Beato clapped her hands, Renove appeared. Butlers sure are convenient.
おかわりですね。かしこまりました。どの程度お継ぎしましょうか。
どうせチャカがボリューム満点だろうからよ。半分でいいぜ。
それでもなみなみとお入れするのが英国式でございますよ。
Even though just enough to wet my throat would have been fine, he filled it to the top with tea. I turned my back to Beato, sipping it in silence.
ちょっと目を覚ましてよ。ベアトリーチェ！
Rosa shook me. No, the corpse that had once been me. I watched over her from a short distance away. So I fell from there and died. I believe that was true for a while. After that, I saw Rosa spend a long time beside my corpse, then watched her as she ran away. Eventually, I realized that I was a different individual from that corpse. Distant.
そうか。わらわは、わらわか。ようやく、金蔵の戒めから逃れられたのか。
Eventually, I felt the memory returning. The fact that I was an endless witch who had lived for 1,000 years. And then I remembered that I had been summoned by Kinzo, and for a long time, had been imprisoned by him. While I had been imprisoned in a cage of flesh, I had completely lost my memory as a witch. However, thanks to Rosa, if you could say that, thanks to my accidental but fortunate death, I had now finally brought myself together.
ローザ、そなたはわらわを死なせてしまったと後悔しているだろうが、わらわにとっては感謝したいくらいよ。
Rosa was already nowhere to be seen. Had she gone to call a doctor? Or had she escaped from a scene which had become frightening? That no longer matters. That soulless shell is no longer worth anything. All that aside, how frail I am now. Even this glorious midday sun is agony to me now. I destroyed my human form. Then I changed it to several gold butterflies. Yes, with my magic power, as frail as it is now, this form is easier. And to escape even a little from the light of the sun, I rode the wind and lightly passed over the cliff. It will probably be somewhat cooler in the forest. Anyway, I'll take some time to recuperate and regain my original power. As I think of how I will pay Kinzo back for all he has done, dancing low through the air, I looked down at the shore one more time. On the rocky shore lay the figure I had once possessed, and that I would eventually regain. To regain the form of that physical body I have thrown away, it will probably take more than 100, 200 days. It might require 1,000 days, or even more, maybe even more. However, I am the Endless Witch, the Golden Witch, who has lived for 1,000 years. Waiting any countable number of days is no problem at all. Oh, Kinzo. You may regret that you are not here now. No longer will you be able to capture me. There's Beatrice's laugh.
それで、お前は黄金の蝶に姿を変え、森の中に潜んで魔力が回復するのを待った。ってのか？
そういうことだ。そなたを嘲笑するためにこの姿を取るが、本来は蝶たちの姿でいた方が魔力的には楽なのだ。
無理しねえで楽な格好で嫌がれよ。ムカつく笑い声を聞かずに済むぜ。
Voiceless.
蝶に姿を変え森に紛れたわらわを探し出すことなど、もはや金蔵には不可能なこと。だが、金蔵も指を加えているわけではなかった。しかしわらわを捕らえる方法はすぐに用意はできぬ。そのため、まずはわらわをこの島から逃さぬ方法。そして、わらわが力を取り戻すことがないよう、即座に手を打ったのだ。
And that leads to the shrine. He set up the shrine. Maybe.
やれやれ。とにかく金蔵の執念深いことと言ったら、想像を絶する。あれに惚れられるのも、なかなかに辛いものだぞ。
蝶になったお前を逃がさない方法？なんだよ。森全体に蚊帳でも張ったってのか？
うん。それを魔法的に行ったのだ。そなたは知っておるか？船着き場の先の洋上に岩礁が浮かび、そこに小さな東洋魔術の祠があることを。
ああ、あれか。今年はなくなってたけどな。昔、修験者が作ってったとかいう祠なんだろ？
六軒島は元来、歪みのある島でございます。魔力的な存在や、それに類した存在を引きつけます。お嬢様も、そんなうちのお一人でございましょうね。紅茶のおかわりはいかがですか？
いただこうぞ。それらは人間たちに害をなし、おそらく数々の不気味なる伝承を残してきたであろう。それを聞きつけた東洋魔術師が古代に設けたのがあの祠なのだ。長い時間を経て、その力は失われておった。金蔵はそれを修復することで島の結界を蘇らせ、わらわを再び島に縛り付けたのだ。
西洋魔女のお前に東洋の魔法なんて通じるのかよ。
本来は相性が悪い。しかしわらわを封じたいという目的においては、ある意味都合が良かっただろうな。わらわも西洋魔術であれば心得がある。どのような結界であっても何かの手が打てたであろう。しかし東洋魔術は専門外よ。わらわが飲まんとするスープに対し、スプーンではなく箸を与えられたようなものだ。
東洋魔術が強く支配する空間では、西洋魔術はひどく力を失います。ただでさえ1000日はかけたであろう力を取り戻す時間を、さらに長くかけねばならなかったのです。
I don't like the way he moves his mouth, by the way. I don't like the way Renove moves his mouth.
それで、約20年かけて魔力を取り戻し、今こうして蘇ったって言いたいのか？
辛く長い年月であった。わらわは黄金の蝶の姿のまま長く日々を送り、金蔵の屋敷を見つけ、奴の日常を見守った。どのように仕返しをしてやろうか、それを思案することだけを日々の楽しみに生きてきた。
So she is getting at a revenge plot.
わらわにとって幸運だったのは、 その間の20年間、金蔵は藁を探し出し捕らえるあらゆる秘術にことごとく失敗した点だったか。人間に起こせる奇跡の数などたかが知れている。藁をあれだけ長く捕らえていただけでも十分に身に過ぎた奇跡だ。そう何度も捕らえられてはたまらぬわ。
じいさまが前のゲームだかで言ってたな。魔法は確率的奇跡に宿るみたいなことをよ。
うん。金蔵はわらわを再び捕らえる秘術を探るうちにそこに行き着いたのだ。そして13人の生贄を捧げることでわらわを再び蘇らせる儀式をついに編み出したのだ。
13人の生贄。
それが魔女の碑文、生贄の歌でございます。第1の番に6人、第2の番に2人、そして第4の番から第8の番にかけて5人、合計13人の生贄を捧げる禁じられた儀式。その生贄はランダムに決められ、儀式を執り行う金蔵自身も例外にはなりません。
It's the one to revive Beatrice. In other words, she could not have been the culprit behind the murders in that. By definition of what that ritual is supposed to represent, she cannot be the killer. Okay! Alright, hold on. Before I continue on, hold on. With all this knowing, let's go back to the human... Can we go to the human side? Thank you. Thank you. Alright, and we go to the human side right now. Of the 19 people on the human side. Yeah, there is 19 people on this character sheet. Of the 19 people on the human side, I think I could definitely state this now in pink. Beatrice is not the culprit. I full on believe, at least for the first game, Beatrice was not the culprit. For at least the first game. More or less, she's kind of a victim. a victim of Kinzo's obsession. She's a victim of Kinzo's obsession. And also, I might as well give another pink theory, even though he is, in his own regard, a culprit behind how everything came to be. I'm also going to state this in pink. Kinzo's not the murderer behind the Rokenjima massacre. Yes, he might have influenced it, but he was not the one who carried it out. That's what my pink theory states. So, of the 19 here, I don't think it's Goda due to him barely being involved with the family. I don't think it's Beatrice just because the original ritual of the first game was meant to bring her back to life. How could she carry out this ritual without much magic in the first game? There wasn't a lot of magic in the first game, so she could not have carried out the murders in the first game at the very least. In the second game, she might have been responsible, or that could have been a trick. Because she never specified whether or not it was her. But she never denied that it could be her or it couldn't be her. But I don't think it's her. And also, I still think there might be some magic involved, but not her magic. And Kinzo, by the circumstance of my theory of him being deceased by the time it happened. So, of the 19 on the sheet, there are 3 people who I know are not the culprit for at least the massacre. Kinzo, you've done some other atrocious stuff that I'm not going to unpack all right now because I want to get back to the game. But you at least were not the person who carried out the massacre, despite how you were technically the mastermind that influenced for it to begin, in a sense. So yes, Kinzo, you're not technically the culprit of the massacre. Beatrice, you're also technically not the culprit. You're just unlucky, Goda. You're just unlucky. But that still leaves in the end, regardless of what I say, that still leaves 16 people now. There's 16 people left who could be responsible. And of the 16, there's Klaus, Natsu, Jessica, Ava, Hideyoshi, George, Rudolph, Kyrie, Battler, Maria, Rosa, Nanjo, Genji, Shannon, Cannon, and Kuwasawa. And yes, I'm keeping Battler as a possible culprit. I'm keeping him as a culprit. You know what? Yes. Yes, I've seen some contention about my theory of Battler possibly being the culprit, but you know what? Out of slight spite, I will continue to keep him on the culprit side until the very end, damn it. I'm gonna keep him here. I'm not gonna say anything in Pink. I'm not gonna prove his innocence in Pink, or I'm gonna say he is a culprit in Pink. I'm just leaving him on a maybe culprit side now as a slight thing of spite as a joke. But yeah, anyways, let's get back to the game. I went a little bit crazy there, I'm sorry.
バカ野郎。この島で起こったあの凄惨な殺人が全部おかしな儀式だって言うのかよ。
I was vaguely thinking that this might be a possibility, but I can't just hear that this is the truth from a witch and a demon and say, oh, really? And accept it.
六軒島には18人いる。13人が生贄に捧げられ、5人だけが生き残る。そしてわらわはよみがえる。つまり、金蔵がわらわに再び会える確率は、だいたい3分の1といったところか。
And he beat the odds the previous time.
その確率に自らの命を落とし、残りわずかな寿命の最後の一瞬に、わらわとの再会を望んだのだ。
そのふざけた儀式のために、俺たち親族が集められたってのかよ。
Yes.
ふざけやがって。いい加減なことを抜かすんじゃねえ。
もとより契約の通りだ。金蔵の生を終えるとき、貸し与えた黄金と、そして金蔵が生み出した財産のすべてを、わらわがもらい受けることになっておる。
It was according to the contract from the beginning. When Kinzo's life ended, all the gold I had lent him, and all the assets that Kinzo had created were to be received by me. But he apprehended that contract.
金蔵には散々に英雄を飲まされたが、今となってはこの1000年でも稀な時間だった。何しろ魔女の天敵は退屈よ。それから逃れることのできる数十年間を提供した金蔵には、なるほど、それも含めて借りがあるやもしれぬ。わらわは金蔵のゲームに乗ることにした。そしてまず、金蔵は後宮家当主の指輪をわらわに返却する。わらわの黄金で復興させた家だからな。そして、13人の生贄を気まぐれに決めるのだ。そしてその過程で、お前たちが右往左往し、
This game is definitely still pointing towards Beatrice being the culprit, but I'm calling BS on that.
わらわに立ち向かおうと様々な人間模様を見せてくれることは、わらわにとって非常に愉快なことだ。わらわはこの金蔵のゲームを実に気に入っている。
And I also enjoy his game. But you're not having fun.
そんな魔法話は絶対信じねえぞ。じゃあお前は誰なんだ。お前は崖から転落して死んだんだろうが。魂が抜け出して蝶になって森へ。そんなのあるわけねえだろうが。だがお前はここにいる。誰だってんだ。お前こそが19人目じゃねえのかよ。
そうであるな。わらわこそが19人目であろうな。だがダメだぜ。全然ダメだ。
Yes, I knew you were gonna say that! Black Liliana.
この六軒島に19人以上の人間は存在しない。
This line is a lot more important than it should be. Oh no. There are no more than 18 humans on this Rokenjima. On this Rokenjima. Hold on. On this Rokenjima. This Rokenjima. Ah, I get it now. I get where this is going now. This certain Rokenjima.
なんだと。ってことは18人プラス X の X は存在しないってのかよ。
For this one
俺が取ったコマ X は存在しないってのかよ。
そういうことになります。実にご愁傷様ですよ。しかしお嬢様も手がお早いですな。もう少し泳がせて最後にひっくり返すものとばかり思っておりました。さてバトラ様、紅茶のおかわりはもう結構ですか。
いらねえよチキショウ。俺は信じないぞ。18人の中に犯人がいるわけねえ。じゃあお前は何なんだよ。どうしてここにいるんだよ。19人目が存在しないってんならお前は18人の誰かの変装だって言うのかよ。
If I go with my Kinzo is dead theory, she still technically can be of the 18 because Kinzo's not a human. He's a body and a corpse! Unless you're counting human as corpse. Like if his corpse is sitting there, he might still count as a human despite being dead. If that's the technicality you're gonna go with. But if you don't count corpses, who is the 18th person?
そなたにとってしぶしぶとではあっても18人の誰かを疑うことが最後の逃げ道、キャスリングとなるであろうな。しかしわらわはここからが難しいのだ。そなたはなりふりさえ捨てれば18人もの人間を自在に犯人に仕立て上げられる。その18人の駒をくぐり抜け。
So of course, despite me stating that, all that, Beatrice is still not the culprit. God, okay, I worked so hard to help Valor, but then I realized, wait a second, no, I should not side with Valor because it's definitely one of his family members, and he needs to get into the mindset of, it's one of them!
わらわを認めさせチェックメイトに至るのは実に難しいことよ。
そんなことするもんか。18人の誰も疑わない。疑いたくない。またここに追い込まれちまったのか。ちくしょう、ちくしょう、ちくしょう。
三度に及んだそなたとのゲームもいよいよ終盤戦のようではないか。もう逃げ場はないぞ。お前の大好きな18人を疑いたくないだろう。わらわがそれをかぶってやるぞ。なのになぜわらわを拒むのか。 序盤は本のように、中盤は魔術師のように、そして終盤は機械のようにさせとな。これより詰めるぞ。ゆっくりじっくり確実にな。いや、それともそなたにふさわしく一気に畳みかけるのが良いのか。そなたにはそれが似合うだろう。そうしよう。すでにそなたの苦手とする攻め方も知り抜いておるわ。
Dang. If Balor was not that much of an idiot, he could easily deny the witch by figuring out who the human culprit is. Fool! Oh yeah, what's going on now? Wait, what? Oh, we're doing this already? Okay, Balor, Jessica are in the guest room. We're doing this. Cannon's in the servant room of the guest house. So is Genji. George and Shannon are in the one place in the garden. I forgot its name, sorry. And we're at the main house. We didn't get to see a proposal this time. It's midnight. And there's Beatrice's portrait. Oh, we only get to see the kids and a few of the servants. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, tomorrow morning is going to be very weird then. Butterfly. Oh, no, we're in the conference room. Dining hall. Klaus, Rudolph, Kyrie, Ava, Nexi, Hideyoshi Rosa. Alright, those guys are in the dining hall, not a conference room, dining hall. Koda's in the kitchen. He looks so happy in there, by the way. He looks so happy. Kinzo is chilling in his study, haunting it. Are we gonna see Shannon in the hallway? No, we get to Beatrice's portrait. Beatrice! Who will be sacrificed this time around? Let's wait and see. Who shall be the ones killed? Oh. Hi, Beatrice. Umineko no Nakukore ni Rondo in the Witch and Reasoning! Midnight. Damn. Who's gonna get sacrificed this time? Is it? Hopefully it's not gonna be the parents again. Is it gonna be the parents again? Come on, let's mix things up. Let's mix things up. You know what? Let's mix things up. Let's have the parents survive, and let's see how they react to the murder strings this time around. The beginning of the ritual. Oh! Oh, the ritual's gonna begin next episode. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to end this episode right here. I'm gonna have to end this episode right here. And we're gonna begin with Kinzo. Alright. We're gonna see how this ritual begins next time. So, thank you everybody for watching this fucking long episode of Umineko. How long was this going for? Hold on. How long was I filming this? Oh no. How long did this take actually? I need to check. I've been filming for about 3.5 hours. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. I abuse my computer so much. I mean, there was the almost 4-hour episode the last time I played. Alright, I should probably end this video right here, right now. I don't want this video to be extremely long like the finale of Turn of the Golden Witch, though. It just happened that this video is going to be long, so yeah, let's just end this video. Thank you everybody for watching this video. I'm playing Umineko no Naka Courtney. Rondo and the Witch of Reasoning, Episode 3, The Banquet of the Golden Witch. So, thank you everybody for watching this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you all next time. Mikhail!
Okay.